and welcome to the Economy This Week series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about important economic events which had happened in the past week, and this session is important for your GA's 3 perspective. So let's move towards the points of discussion. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the energy efficiency and what RBI study says about the energy efficiency of India. Then we are going to discuss about the blue collar jobs, especially in the context of women's participation to it. And then we are going to discuss about the quick commerce. So these are the things which we are going to discuss in today's session. So let's move towards the first topic, and the first topic is related to India's energy efficiency, and this is the news we have. India's energy efficiency improved faster between 2000 and 2023 than BRICS and global average RBI study. So what this study says? So according to the RBI study, India's energy efficiency characterized by amount of energy used to perform a task. So this is energy efficiency which characterize that amount of energy which has been used in completing one task. So it has improved by 1.9%, which is good than the global average, and global average is just 1.4%. So this particular thing has been revealed by the RBI study. And if we compare to the other advanced economy just like the US and Germany, then they had witnessed around 2%. But if we compare to the BRICS countries, then India is far ahead of the BRICS, which is 1.62%. So the study also found that while the country added 706 million tons of carbon emission between 2012 to 2022, so between 10 years, we have added 706 million because of the economic growth. But here what we have seen that it has contributed 1000 million tons of carbon, but we had already shaved off the 399 million tons from this because of the renewable energy resources and because of the energy intensity. So this is about this study. We'll discuss some more points related to it. So here they are going to discuss, and they had focused on the renewable energy efficiency, and they said that we have to replace it by the renewable energy and green hydrogen, and also we have to complete our net zero emission, which is the 2070. And India should intensify its focus on expanding renewable energy, solar and wind power. Tariffs are now lower than those for new coal power plants. And also, despite of having lots of initiatives taken for the solars and wind power, the contribution is low for these areas, and which is just only 2.1% for primary energy in 2022 and 2023. So here we have to increase the contribution of the solar and wind power, and we have to be match our level with the advanced economies, which is more than the 2%. So we are doing good into this context, but we have to update ourselves more. Now we are going to discuss the next, which is Drishti IAS in Noida. As you already know that Drishti IAS is also in the Noida, and we have IAS GS Foundation course, which is prelims plus mains. And this course is available in both the medium, Hindi medium and English medium. So English medium class will begin by 8th April, time is 6 p.m. Hindi medium class will begin by 26 March, time is 6 p.m. So these are our address. If you want to visit online, you can also visit to this address, C171/2, Block A, Sector 15, Noida, and nearest metro station is Noida, Sector 15. And if you want to know more information about classes and admission, you can call on to the number 87501. So let's discuss more topic. Women hold just 1 in 5 blue collar jobs. So this is our topic, and this is our news. Women hold just 1 in 5 blue collar jobs. Wage gap and career barriers persist, study revealed. So here first we need to know that what is blue collar job. So in technical terms, if you want to understand, or in a simple term if you want to understand, the work which does not comes into the office arena. So the works which cannot take place in the office is called as a blue collar jobs, though there are contested debate on the blue collar jobs because of the same nature of the dark kind of thing. So that's why it has signified as a blue collar job. So here we are going to discuss that what is the state of women's participation into the blue collar jobs. So here what we can see that these kind of fields, just like construction, manufacturing, maintenance, and mining, falls under the blue collar jobs. And blue collar jobs is often called as a synonym of the working class. So this is about the blue collar job. So here we'll discuss about the women's participation to it. So there is a latest survey by Indeed, and I think most of us are aware about the Indeed, because Indeed is a platform where Indeed is a hiring platform where you can see your job match, and you can put your CV there, and if there is any vacancy, you can match your skills to that kind of thing, and you can apply there. So I think those who are a part of the workforce are definitely using this Indeed platform. So here what this particular survey says, that despite increasing hiring intent, challenge ranging from wage disparities to poor sanitation continue to hold women back. So this particular survey shows that employers has increased their intent towards women, that they want to hire more women into the blue collar job. So they want to hire more women into the blue collar jobs, but what we have seen, that because of the structural barriers, we have patriarchal barriers, we have this wage barriers, we have this sanitation issues, we have this menstrual issues, we have this reproduction issues, and because of all these natural issues, women are not the first priority for the employers. So here comes to the more discussion. So according to the survey, while 73% of the surveyed employers said they hired women for blue collar roles in 2024, still their participation is really low, and which is 20% across the country. And this study has covered 2,673 blue collar women workers and 1,262 employers across 14 industries, just like the automobile, BFSI, e-commerce, travel and hospitality, FMCG and manufacturing. And the city surveys are the Delhi, we have Bengaluru, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Chandigarh, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai and Pune. So we'll discuss that what other reports and what other things had showed. So more female presence in retail, pharma and construction. So industries such as retail, so there is a representation of 32% of the women, healthcare and pharmaceuticals 32%, construction and real estate 30%, and travel and hospitality 28% showed increased female representation. However, telecommunication, BFSI, IT lagged behind with female participation below 10%. So we need to increase their participation into the IT sectors, technological sectors. And during the survey, 78% employers will plan to hire more women in blue collar jobs in 2025. So in 2024, we have 73%. So right now, this percentage has increased by 5%. So more intent could be seen by hiring women. And industries like retail 94%, healthcare and pharma 93%, and e-commerce 93% showed the strongest demand. So these are the demands where they want women to be employed. So we'll discuss some more. Harsh reality. So what is the harsh reality we have? So there are major challenges in front of the women. The first thing is that rigid work schedules, wage inequality and lack of upskilling opportunity. So about 50% of the women cited the lack of flexible shifts as barrier, making it difficult to balance work and personal lives. And why this is a problem in front of the women? Because if there will be rigidity into the shift, and women cannot stay for the longer period of time because of the unsafe nature of the cities. So this creates barrier in front of them. Also, women holds lots of responsibility by taking care of the home, taking care of their child. So because of this inflexibility, they could not join any job. Also, wage inequality. 42% of the women reported being underpaid compared to their skills and compared to the men. So this is also one of the things that women are not much into this blue collar job. And then upskilling challenges. So there is a constant challenge ahead of the women, that they want to upskill their whatever the skill they have. So they want to what you can say, revive their skills and also smoothen their skills, but they have a limited opportunity to do so. So these are the structural barriers we have. Now we'll discuss some more point, that what employers' perspective. So we had discussed the data that these are the women who are a part of the blue collar jobs. They are saying this. So what employers are saying? So employers are saying that there is a limited talent pool, which is 52% and high attrition. So there is a high attrition. Suppose that structural barriers creates attrition, that anybody is intentionally disturbing anybody to leave the jobs, and these kind of things are happening with the women. So there is also problem with the lack of insurance, paid maternity leave, paid menstrual leave. So because of this thing also, women are not able to become a part of the workforce. And according to Indeed India head of sales Sashi Kumar, 71% of the women in blue collar jobs feel undervalued due to limited job opportunities and career growth. And also he emphasized need for better retention strategies, skilling, mentorship, leadership pipelines. And a separate Indeed survey projects that over 2 million job seekers will enter India's blue collar sector by 2025. The company stressed that true progress depends on breaking systematic barriers, ensuring fair wages, and providing career mobility for the women. So these are the things that we have to provide opportunity. We have to become flexible for the women, because she is carrying child. It's not her fault that she is carrying child, and he or she should not be punished because she is a mother. She should not be punished because she is a woman. So we need to work on our structural barriers, and we have to, if men and women are working equally in an office, then their paid should be equal, their salary should be equal. So the true progress depends that we need to remove all these barriers in front of the women. Now we are going to discuss the next topic, which is the quick commerce. What is behind the rise of quick commerce? So here, after the pandemic, we have this tendency and we have this habit developed of the quick commerce. So this news which we are going to cover up. So let's discuss that what is quick commerce. So quick commerce is thing, suppose that you're ordering one thing, Instamart, Swiggy, then we have this Jepto, we have this Blinkit, and you are ordering, and your order is arrived in just 10 to 20 minutes. So this is called as quick commerce. So here time is the factor. So what we have seen that unlike traditional retail, quick commerce operates through mobile apps, because there is a mobile app in your Blinkit, you have Jepto, you have Instamart. Leveraging customer data to create feedback loop. This enables personalized shopping experience, better inventory planning, and quick adaptation to demand shift. So you already know that because there is a rating system, there is always a choice, and there is always a study of your shopping behavior. So these are the good advantages we have of the quick commerce. We'll add some more points to it. So what is in for the brand? So a study by IIM Ahmedabad highlights that quick commerce boosts brand awareness due to its growing presence, because you have such kind of opportunities and options, because whenever you purchase, whenever you shop anything, you always find the comparative price. So this creates a brand awareness. Also, low cost employment, manpower, and abundant consumer choices, because India has a lots of workforce. So this has enabled India's quick commerce very successful. And scale also provides supply side advantage, reduced cost. For example, centralized distribution of frozen product is more cost effective, because there are warehouses, there are dark houses. And what is this dark houses? So there is what you can say godown kind of structure, and there is a store where these people keep their things, and when there is an order, they can quickly grab from that dark house, and then they can deliver it to the customer. So there is a centralized system, and if any kirana shops uses refrigerator for any kind of things, so that requires infrastructure, that requires logistics, that requires electricity, and that becomes costly for them. So this is the thing. Now we'll discuss about the Nielsen IQ survey, which shows urban consumers prefer modern trade 41%, then general trade 25%, e-commerce 22%, and quick commerce 12%. And Deloitte reports quick commerce now forms 35% of FMCG brands online sales, doubling its share. And the survey also found quick commerce preferred for food and beverages, while e-commerce leads in home, personal care. Modern trade remains dominant for bulk buying and discounts. So you already know that whenever we feel hungry, whenever we have this craving of having cold drink or cake, we always do what you can say Zomato, we always do Jepto, we always do Blinkit. So we wanted to have chips in short time, we wanted to have tomato in our kitchen. So in these kind of circumstances, we use quick commerce. And for better planning, suppose that you wanted to buy clothes, so that for that we go for the e-commerce. And for bulk, then we go for the markets and then we purchase things. So convenience drives quick commerce. Suppose that anybody does not want to go to the market, so by home sitting they can order. So that's why convenience is the key in the quick commerce. And market growth, Indian quick commerce valued $3.34 billion 2024, and it has been projected to grow by $9.95 billion 2029. So there will be 76% year-on-year growth. And market share, so Blinkit, we have largest share for the Blinkit, which is 46%, Jepto 29%, Swiggy, Instamart 25%. So here we can see the market share. So now we'll discuss the what about the traditional retailers. So there is a constant debate over that. By rising the quick commerce, there is a threat to the traditional retailers because they do not have infrastructure, they do not have logistics, they do not have much resources, and that's why their prices are rising and they sell anything at a very high price, and that is creating a competition and people are preferring the online thing. So there is a constant debate over that. There is a loss of job because people are not able to do run their kirana stores. So they are shutting their kirana stores and there is a job loss. So this thing we have to acknowledge and we have to find out a solution, that what could be solution for the retailers. So AIC PDF warns of massive job loss, stressing the need for a level playing field to protect millions in traditional retail, many of the whom lack alternative employment opportunities. So many have already shut their shop and they had found out another opportunity, but many lacks it because they do not have any skills to do it. So how they will find another employment opportunity? And this is a very serious question in front of them. So these are the things we have to take care of. Now we are going to discuss about the questions for your prelims examination. What is the biggest challenge faced by women in blue collar jobs according to the recent surveys? Lack of job opportunity, rigid work schedules, wage inequality, lack of upskilling, poor workplace, sanitation, harassment at the workplace. This is very easy one. You can answer into the comment section. Then what is the key characteristic of quick commerce? Delivering products within 10 to 20 minutes, selling only premium products, restricting purchase to bulk orders, operating only in rural areas. This is also very easy one. Then we have third one. According to RBI study, what percentage of India's primary energy came from solar and wind 2022 to 2023? 2.1, 10.5%, 18.3%, 25.2%. This is very easy one. You can answer into the comment section. And you have to analyze all these topics for your mains preparation also. We try to cover subjects related to the women because our main aim is to have an inclusive study. And whenever we study anything, we have to always look for the direction that whether this particular thing and how women are behaving into, how women are represented into this particular sector, how marginalized sections are represented into this particular sector. So that's why for your research based, for your overall development, for your different kind of the thinking, for what you can say, what this is, if you want to have upskill thinking, then you have to think multidimensional. So for the development of the multidimensional thinking, you have to approach any topic for multidimensional approach. You have to see the representation of the marginalized section, you have to see the representation of the women, you have to see their participation, you have to find out whether they are equally represented or not. And we have covered a lot of topic which data shows that women are not equally represented in many areas, and there needs a policy, there needs intervention from the government bodies, that how we can ensure their representation. And today we had talked about the blue collar jobs. So in this sector also women representation is low. We had also talked about a different kind of quick commerce. And if we see the quick commerce, so how many women delivery partners you have got? Very few. So this thing you have to think multidimensionally, and that will strengthen your main studies. So if there will be any question related to this topic, you will be able to answer very easily. So thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.